And for the first time in history, WNBA games will be played in the United Center. The ChicagoSky will host the IndianaFever at the UC on Saturday, June 7th, and on Sunday, July 27th. The highly anticipated games will feature Fever star CaitlinClark against the Sky's very own AngelReese. The largest attendance at a Sky game ever happened in 2016 at Allstate Arena with more than 16,000 fans, while the United Center can fit more than 20,000, so more fans can get in on the action. Tickets go on sale on March.
AngelReese wants us to believe that women's basketball isn't about just one player. But the ChicagoSky just delivered a harsh reality check. They didn't just relocate a game. They made history by moving their matchup with the IndianaFever to the iconic United Center, home of the Bulls. And why? Let's be real. It's because of CaitlinClark, not AngelReese, not anyone else.
Martin looking. Here's Clark. She fires and goes! Wow!
The message is loud and clear. A neon billboard flashing across the entire WNBA. CaitlinClark is the main attraction, and even the teams that pretend otherwise are cashing in on her star power.
They're going to get the ball up in time. Clark and the 40-piece and walks off with the W.
But here's where it gets spicy. Before CaitlinClark, the WNBA struggled to fill seats, let alone make headline-worthy moves like this.
Forms on Tuesday night, making it the most-watched WNBA game on ESPN Network since the WNBA debut of the Phoenix Mercury star, Diana Taurasi. Passing Diana Taurasi, what a way to start the season.
Well, I mean, listen, this girl is a...
Entire franchises are reshaping their business strategies around her. AngelReese and her camp might want to look away because the truth hurts. CaitlinClark is the game changer, and the ChicagoSky just made that crystal clear. Buckle up, folks. We're diving straight into the controversy that's setting the basketball world on fire.
Great turnaround. No good. Final third in the lead. With an action. AngelReese, no.
Before we dive in, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We're bringing you the hottest stories with high-energy analysis you won't find anywhere else. Let's be real. The ChicagoSky's decision to move their game against CaitlinClark's IndianaFever to the United Center wasn't just a business move. It was a statement. This is the first WNBA game ever hosted there, and it's happening for one reason: Clark's presence. AngelReese has been pushing the idea that she and other players deserve just as much credit for the league's growth. But if that were true, why wasn't Chicago making these moves for anyone else?
Show right here over the digital airways of YouTube and, of course, iHeartRadio. Let me get to some sports items. That's my wheelhouse. I got a few things on my mind, actually. I didn't mention it in my cold open, but I'm going to mention it now, and that's CaitlinClark herself of the WNBA. Let's get to the WNBA and this sensational rookie from the IndianaFever who continues to be box office. Currently lead the WNBA in average game attendance and per game TV viewership. But despite the attendance and viewership records, there's iterate in the league in regards to Clark starting with WNBA legend Cheryl Swoops.
This isn't just about selling a few more tickets. It's about doubling the stadium capacity to meet the insane demand for CaitlinClark games. The WNBA has had elite talent for years, yet no single player has ever sparked this level of interest. If Reese's claims were valid, Chicago would be expanding for other matchups too. But they're not. This is Clark's world, and everyone else is just playing in it. The numbers don't lie. Before CaitlinClark, WNBA attendance averaged around 6,600 per game. Now we're seeing packed arenas and record-breaking viewership. When Clark steps on the court, it's not just a basketball game, it's an event. The United Center move is just the latest proof that the WNBA is riding the CaitlinClark wave, whether they want to admit it or not.
WNBA changed just because of one player?
Before CaitlinClark entered the league, WNBA games struggled to break through to mainstream audiences. Sure, there was a loyal fan base, but let's be honest, many games barely made a ripple outside of hardcore supporters.
and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
Matchups were competitive, but they lacked that must-watch factor. Some arenas were half empty, TV ratings were stagnant, and media coverage was minimal. Now, the landscape has completely shifted, and one name sits at the center of it all, CaitlinClark.
490. So games that CaitlinClark plays are averaging 85% more than non-CaitlinClark games. Just throwing that out there. You need to know.
Clark's arrival wasn't just big, it was a cultural shift. Attendance skyrocketed almost overnight, merch sales flew off the shelves, networks scrambled to secure WNBA rights, and suddenly, ticket prices surged to levels no one had seen before. Entire teams started adjusting their business models just to accommodate her presence. AngelReese might argue that no one player defines the league, but the numbers tell a different story.
She said, if I had transferred earlier in my career, I wouldn't be having the time of my life.
Take Indiana's opening game against the New York Liberty as Exhibit A. Over 17,000 fans packed Gainbridge Fieldhouse, creating an atmosphere usually reserved for NBA playoffs or A-list concerts. The energy was electric. This wasn't a coincidence. This was the CaitlinClark effect in real time. She's not just growing the game, she's revolutionizing it.
Has really taken upon her shoulders to be more aggressive offensively to trade, and Caitlin for three, rattled.
Recently being the first WNBA player that has recorded consecutive 20
Reese, Bentley tips it away and off and running. CaitlinClark wins a bat.
Still skeptical about Clark's influence? Let's look at two teams that literally changed where they play just to capitalize on her arrival. The Atlanta Dream, instead of playing in their usual Gateway Center arena, moved their matchups against the IndianaFever to State Farm Arena, the home of the Atlanta Hawks.
You don't have to wait any longer. The pick is in. Time to get to the podium. Here is the commissioner, Kathy Engelberg.
With the first pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the IndianaFever select CaitlinClark, University.
Meanwhile, the Washington Mystics didn't hesitate to move their games to Capital One Arena, home of the Wizards. Bigger venues, more seats, more money, all because of CaitlinClark.
Let's go.
William Maru are your officials here today. She's up there with rebounds, up there with steals. And she'll take the first three.